Hello everyone, I know it's been a while and welcome back to another All Wrestling review. Basically going over all wrestling promotions and giving my thoughts and opinions on everything non-WWE related. Considering that I am now doing WWE reviews again a bit more frequently, I am going to be starting to make All Wrestling review just basically everything that is not related to WWE. But then again, that just kind of means I have to ignore NXT. And yes, I know a lot of you probably want to hear my thoughts on the recent releases, but honestly, I don't really want to comment on them because it's just going to get a lot of people upset because I'm just going to say things that people aren't really going to like to hear all that much. So, I'm just going to be focusing on I am just going to be focusing on just talking about different kinds of wrestling today. Just to talk about different promotions and all that. Just because I feel like it, because I just think it's only fair I do that. So Ring of Honor has started this tournament for the Pure Women's Championship. Now, I don't really know who's in this tournament, but I'm really looking forward to it. I think it could be interesting. And I'd like to see Deonna Purrazzo kind of be the first champion. But I guess it really depends on when this tournament is starting. And even maybe some of the people that got released could end up there. But then again, that depends on how many days they got. Like if you're an NXT person, then you're going to have like a 30 days, while main roster people get 90 days. So I guess that really depends there. So I guess that just ultimately depends on that, I suppose. But ultimately, I don't really have a whole lot to say when it comes to Stardom. The main reason why is because one of the people that I mainly watch it for is not really active at the moment. Xena, she's an Australian. Apparently she's been out of action for a while with an injury. So yeah, I haven't really been paying much of attention to Stardom because of it. But yeah, it's a bit of a shame. But anyway, I'm going to quickly go over a few episodes of Dynamite and Collision real quick. And the main reason why I'm going to be going over a few episodes is, well, I haven't really done any reviews on them. But not a lot of them, though. Like, the quick AEW reviews is going to be short and to the point. Basically, I'm just going to be talking about some of the bigger highlights from the show. Some of the bigger highlights on the show. They seem to be doing some kind of storyline with MJF trying to get into the Hurt Syndicate, I suppose. I don't know how I feel about that, but I guess it's interesting because I have enjoyed some of those segments. I was never really the biggest. I was never really into the Hurt business in WWE. But, MJF, could make the whole thing interesting, I suppose, and all that. So, the Owen Hart Cup has been ongoing, and I've actually been enjoying quite a lot of the matches. Like, Jamie Hayter had a great match with Billy Starks. Mercedes Moné had a great match with Harley Cameron. Oh, wait, no, she didn't wrestle Harley Cameron. That was Athena who wrestled Harley Cameron. She wrestled Julia Hart, sorry. But Athena and Mercedes were in the semifinals, and I always felt they were going to be in the finals, but I guess Tony Khan wanted to make things interesting and just put them in the semis instead. So ultimately, Mercedes won that, and she's going to be facing Jamie Hayter in the finals because Jamie Hayter ultimately defeated Chris Statlander. I find it crazy that Jamie Hayter and Chris Statlander have been a part of AEW since it began in 2019. They've been around they've been there for like 5 years at this point. So I guess also MJF as well, but the people that have basically started there have just been there forever. Outside of Cody Rhodes, obviously, and Jade Cargill, because I think they were there from the start, but they ultimately left, and Penta and Rey Fenix. But ultimately, I think that's kind of cool. But yeah. And Collision, we had some interesting things on Collision. Toni Storm would defeat Queen Abinata, I think that's how you say her name, in a fine little matchup. I'm not that big on that Queen Abinata, but, you know, she'll probably grow on me in time. Something I was genuinely happy about was the return of Anna Jay. I hadn't seen Anna Jay in a while, and it was nice to see her back. She won a pretty easy squash match against I have no idea, but she just won a squash match. And they seemingly putting her in a feud with the Megasis Megan Bayne. Or I guess in other words, Pegasus, you know. But Megan Bayne came out alongside a Penelope Ford. I know they say the name differently. Penelope. I think that's how they say it. I only say Penelope because I just think it's easier. I know people. I know I say names weirdly and differently, but yeah. After Anna won a quick squash match, Megan Bayne came out and gave her and beat up Anna Jay and gave her a modified F5, which is called Fade's Descent. And I do know Toni Storm gave Megan Bayne her first taste of defeat as well, which, you know, that's perfectly fine. I was kind of surprised by it because I thought maybe Megan Bayne could have won the title and they could have made her the next monster heel. But I guess they just wanted to give her a big spotlight match. FTR is being built up pretty well. They've been getting built up quite well as well ever since they portrayed Edge, which, you know, I don't really care all that much for Edge. So the Dynamite the following week, because the two shows I talked about were last week. This week's shows, Mercedes was quite heavily Mercedes Moné was quite heavily featured on Dynamite this week. She had an interview with Renee Young. She had an interview about her upcoming New Japan Strong match against Mina Shirakawa and Azumi, AZM as she likes to call her. And she also came out after Toni Storm had a match with a girl named Miyu Yamatashi, I think that's how you say her name. I do apologize if I butchered it. So yeah, Mercedes and Jamie Hayter are building up to their match at Double or Nothing because the Owen Hart Cup Finals is taking place there. You know, that should be interesting. You know, that's going to be interesting. Like, Jamie Hayter and Mercedes Moné is a match I wanted to see when Mercedes came. And also, same thing with Mercedes and Toni Storm. Like, to me, Mercedes and Toni Storm is the biggest match for me when it comes to AEW. Like, Mercedes has had some pretty damn good matches with people like Harley Cameron and Anna Jay. And even Chris Statlander. And even Sheeta. You know, I'm kind of surprised they haven't been using Sheeta lately. I guess they're just resting her, or she's just on Ring of Honor, or maybe she's just wrestling in Japan somewhere. But yeah, but yeah, like, so far I think the AEW Women's Division is pretty damn strong right now. I think it's a pretty strong division, considering that WWE just went on a mass releasing spree a few days ago. Do not be surprised. Do not be surprised if any of the names that WWE released possibly ultimately come over to AEW. So, or maybe, you know, they might go to AEW, but they might not. I guess that really all depends on them. And, that's really all I gotta say about, you know, that Dynamite that week. Some of the things on there were fine, like Hurt Syndicate and MJF continued to have segments together. Hangman and Kyle Fletcher had a really good match. They had a really good match as well in the Owen Hart Cup thing. And then the final collision we'll be talking about, which took place yesterday, Toni Storm had another match. Yeah, Toni Storm's been busy. They've been having her wrestle quite a fair bit, which is kind of surprising considering how this is something that WWE sometimes don't do very often. I mean, outside of EO Sky, but of course that's EO. But yeah, but yeah. Anyway, so Toni Storm had another match with a girl named Lady Frost. Don't think I know her. I don't she's definitely someone I don't really know all that much of. I think I remember seeing her once in Ring of Honor. I can't remember. But Toni Storm had a big match over there against her. Samoa Joe and Jon Moxley now seem to be set up to having a quite big feud for the AEW Championship, because I know Samoa Joe won the trio tag team titles with two other guys. I think Taz's son was one of them, Hook. As for the other guy, I don't know. But yeah, they seem to be building up a match between Samoa Joe and Jon Moxley. I think that match has real potential. That has a real big potential to be a really, really good match. I think that has so much potential to be a big one. Could Samoa Joe be the guy to dethrone Jon Moxley? I mean, look, Samoa Joe is believable. He is a believable candidate to beat Jon Moxley. Is it going to happen? Probably not. But Samoa Joe is a good candidate. He is a good candidate, and he is a good choice. And I don't think Samoa Joe had a long run when he was the champion the first time, because I think he ended MJF's historic title reign, and then I think he lost it pretty quickly to Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe ended MJF's historic title reign, and then he dropped it to Swerve about a month or so later. Yeah, I think it was something like that. But I think it was something like that. I could be completely wrong. But yeah. But I think the potential is there between Joe and Moxley. Definitely going to be a real hard-hitting match. That's for sure. That's all I'm trying to say. So one of the other things that happened on Collision, which is I'm going to be talking about, was Megan Bayne and Harley Cameron. They had a match against each other. And Harley Cameron, man, if there was one person that I could see possibly thriving in WWE in the comedy department, that is Harley Cameron. To me, she is AEW's R-Truth. She's very funny. She's got that great comedy timing. I know she and Mercedes had been teaming up. I know they teamed up a couple of times on Collision. And it's kind of ironic that the only matches Mercedes has lost in WWE were tag matches with Harley, and she wasn't pinned. But of course that would make sense, because why would you want to randomly pin Mercedes in a tag team match? If that was WWE, that would have absolutely happened. Because, it's WWE. That's the kind of thing WWE would do. But yeah, Harley Cameron, she's just so darn likable. She's such a damn likable babyface. I was not the biggest fan of her as a heel, but I did enjoy her stint with Saraya when Saraya was still there. I did enjoy her brief stint with Saraya in the Outcasts. But other than that, I think Harley is a very likable character. So she took on Megan Bayne. Now, I knew Harley was not going to win, but it just made you want to believe in Harley Cameron. You wanna believe in Harley Cameron. Clap, clap. I'm sorry. I'm totally sorry. I'm totally sorry. I probably upset a lot of people. But yeah, Harley and Megan had a surprisingly good match. The thing with Megan Bayne, this is my only small complaint with Megan, and I get it that she's a big, strong woman and you want to build her up. They did a lot of squash matches with her. Even with superstars that were active on the roster, they liked to just have her squash them sometimes. I think Megan should be having a bit more competitive matches. You can still have her win, but I think she needs to have more competitive matches. And yeah, I know she pinned Toni Storm, not too long ago, and she had a great match with Toni Storm at one of the pay-per-views. But yeah, I think Megan doesn't have a lot of competitive matches. It's nice to that she actually does have competitive matches, because that's definitely some of the things I've definitely learned about Megan Bayne. Like, she tends to have more squash matches than competitive matches. So I'm glad they did not just have her beat Harley so easily. That's one of the things I can really say that is positive. So I will say that's a really strong positive. Like, I'm okay with Megan Bayne winning and being that dominant woman, but I also prefer competitive matches instead of just always the big dominant people have to be in squashes. Anyway, so after Megan Bayne ultimately won with the with her F5 like finishing maneuver, that her and Penelope Ford, I think that's how they say her name, Penelope, but I'm just going to say Pendelope, were going to attack Harley. Anna Jay comes from behind with a giant wood stick, cracks it across Megan's back and doesn't do anything. Also, I don't understand why Pendelope exited the ring, because like Pendelope saw Anna coming and then she just rolls out of the ring. And then Anna hits her with the wood thing. Megan obviously no-sold it because it didn't hurt her. Turned around, Anna tried to hit her again, and then obviously Megan swiped it away from Anna. Anna then backs over to the ropes, and then Megan runs at her, and then she drops the ropes down. And Pendelope was outside watching the whole thing. Like, she could have just grabbed Anna Jay. Like, she could have just grabbed Anna Jay, pulled her out of the ring, and just started attacking her or something. Like, I don't know why Pendelope rolled out of the ring when Anna came in with the giant wood thing. It was very weird. I just thought it was very weird, but I guess they wanted Anna to get some payback on Megan, but yeah, I just thought it was very weird. I just found that pretty weird from that standpoint. But yeah, I also saw Anna and Harley have like a little segment backstage together. Like, they'll just buy some steps, and then they were talking, and then they were just talking about Pendelope and Megan Bayne. I definitely think the next destination for these girls is definitely going to be a tag team match. I'm just glad Anna Jay's back on TV. I'm not going to be like one of those idiot fans that's just going to complain even when she is back on TV, because I literally saw people complaining like when I talked about her comeback when she won that squash match. Like, I literally saw people complaining that Anna Jay comes back, wins a squash match, and then she just gets beat up immediately. And then people started complaining about it. I'm just like, oh my god, like, they're starting a feud, guys. Like, it's not like Tony Khan did it to bury Anna Jay. Like, seriously. It's clearly starting up a feud, guys. Like, come on. If WWE did that, it'd be all fine and dandy, because, it means they're finally getting TV time. But because it's AEW, it's ultimately a bad thing. Anyway, so yeah, so that was everything that happened on AEW. So now let's quickly jump over to TNA. Oh boy. TNA. Man, how I once loved watching you, and how I much at one point wanted to give you a fair chance, but ever since you partnered up with WWE, things have gone bad to worse. So, TNA is not that bad. It's not that bad. I just question some of the things they did. Joe Hendry and Trick Williams are in a feud. Like, is this literally the best they could do? Like, this is my biggest problem with the TNA partnership with WWE. Like, the fact that TNA can't even use their own wrestlers to be feuding with their TNA World Champion. Like, they literally got to have a WWE guy feuding with them. Like Trick Williams is a heel now. And I don't like that the fans still chant, "Whoop that Trick," despite the fact that he's supposed to be a heel now. Like, why are you still chanting that? He's a heel. Yeah, so they're starting up a feud between them. Yeah, I can't say I'm really thrilled about about NXT wrestlers just constantly being the ones to challenge for TNA's championships. So Joe Hendry was teaming up with the Hardys, and they ultimately lost to Frankie Kazarian and the Namath brothers because Trick Williams interfered in the match. That was in the main event. One other negative that I will say is that I just want to question why TNA would waste their money on this one. So, out comes everybody's favorite, Robert Stone, the biggest dickhead of all time. Like, no one likes this guy. Robert Stone comes out, and this is what I mean when I say TNA is turning into WWE Light. And this is why people, and this is probably why certain people get upset at me whenever I say I don't want to see, people that leave WWE get released go to TNA. Because you're basically still technically in another company that's basically WWE micromanaged. It feels like TNA is becoming very much micromanaged by WWE and all that. Because why do we need so many WWE personalities? Like, why do we need so many WWE personalities? Like, I get Santino's daughter being there. I get it. I get her being there. She obviously wants to be with her dad. That's fine. I'm okay with her being there. But does Robert Stone need to be there as well? Does freaking, why do so many WWE people need to be there? Like, I know it's a part of the partnership, but it's ridiculous to me how the WWE people are more dominant. Like, they're the more dominant ones. Like, they're the ones that seem to dominate TNA more than TNA. Like, when was the last time TNA got a TNA chant? Like, the fans tend to care more about NXT than TNA. And I think that's a big major problem. But Robert Stone comes out and he basically announces that Victoria Crawford, aka Alicia Fox, is now signed with TNA. And without even doing anything, without even lifting a finger or having a match or earning her way up the card, they immediately give her a championship match against Masha Slamovich at Under Siege. What kind of booking decision is this? What kind of terrible booking decision is this? Like, what has Alicia Fox done to deserve a shot at the Knockouts belt? I genuinely do not get it. Like, I genuinely don't get why she just has to walk in and then she just gets a title shot immediately. I hate that. I hate that so much. It's so stupid. And then they have Tessa Blanchard trying to say, and then they have Tessa Blanchard, another person that people love so much. Pretty much agree with what Robert Stone is doing. Girl, what are you saying? You agree with Robert Stone. She literally complained that she got her title. She literally complained to Santino Marella, because Tessa was complaining to Santino Marella about her poor treatment. I mean, you just had a title shot. What do you mean poor treatment? It was your first loss since you've come back. And then she pretty much agrees with what Robert Stone's doing. And then she ends up leaving with Robert Stone. I'm just like, what kind of booking sense does that make? Like, what kind of booking sense does it make for Tessa Blanchard to be okay with someone walking in and just being given a title shot immediately? Like, that was the one thing Tessa was doing. Like, they literally made Tessa look stupid here. Like, when Tessa first walked into TNA, that was the first thing they wanted her to do. Like, immediately work with the top champion. They had her take out Jordynne Grace and all that shit. Like I get she's a heel and they want her to be on the heel side, but seriously, that is just so darn stupid. It's so darn stupid how they just have Alicia Fox just walk into TNA, sign a contract, and they're like, here you go, we'll give you a title shot just because. I'm sorry, but I do not care about Alicia Fox in 2025. The only people that care about Alicia Fox were possibly like a small percentage of her fan base, if she even has any fans. Like, seriously, no one cares about Alicia Fox in the year 2025. God almighties. What are TNA thinking, wasting their money on someone like Alicia Fox? Insane. Insane to me. Insane. A new girl by the name of Maggie Lee. I think this is her debut. I think this is her debut. She took on Geordie Threat. It was a decent little match, I suppose. Geordie Threat won. Maggie Lee, they seem to be teasing her joining Ash by Elegance and Heather Reckless. Or Heather by Elegance, I should say. Like, they seem to be teasing that she'll be the third member of the Elegance brand. I don't know why. They need more members, but... okay, fair enough, I suppose. If it gets her more TV time, then I guess it could work in the long run. But it's still, at least that's more interesting than whatever the hell they're doing. What I just talked about before. Like, seriously, it's so stupid. So the last thing I want to talk about when it comes to TNA is the arrival of Indy Hartwell. Because I know a lot of people probably want to hear my thoughts on the arrival of Indy Hartwell. Like, I was going to just make it a standalone video, but I just felt like including it in this. Indy Hartwell comes out to Heart Won't Quit, because obviously that's her music. And the first thing I immediately notice is the fans giving her all the love and support. The indie wrestling chants breaking out. She does the little thumbs up, you know, her usual stuff. The one thing that genuinely pisses me off is how WWE thought it was a great idea to make her a heel. I have always said Indy Hartwell is a likable character. To me, I've always felt she's a very likable person. The crowd like her. And all that. Like, the fans like her, they like cheering her, they like chanting indie wrestling. And the fact that WWE tried to make her a heel alongside Candice LeRae. Look, Candice, I don't mind her as much as a heel. I think Candice can be a good heel if they give her good material. If they give her good material, something that she can sink into, I think Candice has potential to be a good heel. To me, Indy Hartwell, I know she was a heel in her early days in NXT in the way, but that was then. I don't even think Indy was even great as a heel then either. People didn't really like Candice being a heel either then as well. But the point is, Indy Hartwell to me is so likable. She's someone you want to root for. She's so easily well liked, and the only reason people didn't like her is because, people just don't like basic wrestlers. Like, I've seen people call Indy Hartwell a basic wrestler. Oh, she's so basic. She's such a boring wrestler. She's so basic and boring. What? So you'd rather her be like Ricochet? You'd rather her be like freaking Penta and Rey Fenix and all those other high flyers? You'd rather her be a flip-floppy magician? You know, perform a whole bunch of gymnastics. That's what you'd rather her do? Listen, I will sit here and tell you guys, I like those kinds of wrestlers too. My favorite style of wrestlers are the high-flying wrestlers. I will tell you, those are my favorite styles of wrestlers. But the fact that you want to sit there and say she's basic and she's a boring wrestler because she's too basic, well, I'm sorry, she doesn't go to the gym and try to do 630s and run across the tightrope and do some cool moves. When she did do a cool move, she botched it one time and everyone called her out for it. The one time she did try a fancy move, she made a mistake, she botched, and then everyone made fun of her. And you wonder why she's a so-called basic wrestler. Because the last time she tried something fancy, she messed it up. And accidents happen. Mistakes happen in the ring. And then people called her a bad wrestler because she couldn't do a springboard. Because she couldn't do a springboard elbow drop correctly. Give me a break. Give me a friggin' break with that garbage. That's why she's a basic wrestler. I'd rather her do stuff that... I would rather her be a basic wrestler, and I'd rather her do moves. I'd rather her be different. Like, not everybody needs to be, like, doing gymnastics. Not everybody needs to do gymnastic moves. Not everybody needs to wrestle like a Seth Rollins or a Roman Reigns or whatever. Everyone has their own unique styles. So anyway, Indy Hartwell comes out. She's getting a lot of love and support. And again, I'm genuinely annoyed that WWE thought it was a great idea to make her a heel. Because the crowd just would not want to boo her. The fans just didn't care about Indy. Because Triple H gave them no reason to. She was in WWE. So her goal is to become the Knockout in the Knockouts women's division. So just without even really saying it, she just wants to be the champion. So, yeah, that's really all I can really say about Indy Hartwell. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I think that's going to be awesome. I think that's going to be very, very awesome. And I look forward to it. I think that's got a lot of potential. As for, I don't really want to mention anything WWE related because I genuinely just do not care all that much. But, you know, NXT and all that, like, I don't care. Like, I want to try and do something different. Like, I kind of want all wrestling review to be, like, just non-WWE related. Like, oh, this is where my AEW and TNA reviews are going to go. Or any other reviews of any other wrestling promotions I watch. You know, I kind of want all wrestling review to be like, oh, this is all non-WWE stuff, like, and all that. Like, just consistently adding WWE to these reviews would just get boring, because now that I'm kind of doing standard, you know, reviews on WWE anyway. But since people did ask, I will give my quick thoughts on Aleister Black's return. Since people did ask, I will give my quick opinions on Aleister Black's return and the TLC match. I thought that TLC match where the Street Profits won, that was a fantastic match. It really should have been on WrestleMania. It really should have been on WrestleMania instead of the stupid Kofi Kingston Viking Raiders match. Do you want to know the reason why they had the Viking Raiders and New Day on the WrestleMania card over the TLC match? The only reason why they had it on there, because apparently it was just for a sake of a sponsorship. Because the attire that the Viking Raiders came out on, it was all about a mobile game or something. Yeah, kind of a stupid reason to have a match on there. Kind of a stupid reason to have a match on a WrestleMania card. Even if it was like one of the worst matches on the WrestleMania card outside of John Cena and Cody Rhodes. Aleister Black's return. Here's the thing about Aleister Black's return. It's a coincidence that on the day Aleister Black returns to WWE, WWE decides to crown Zelina Vega a champion. A few years too late there, Triple H. You're a few years too late. You're a few years too late with Zelina Vega, man. It genuinely annoys me that they changed her music to this really crappy rap music. I just don't like her new theme. I really don't. I don't like the visual. Yeah, that's the name of the song, The Visual. I don't really like it. Her old theme was so much better. Her old theme got a reaction. She got a reaction from her old theme. She got a reaction by using the LWO music. And the fact that they move her away from that, and then they give her a new theme song, and now she's getting no reaction. And then now people are calling her a terrible champion just because she can't get a reaction anymore. Oh, I'm sorry, that's not her fault. That's not her fault that she can't get a reaction anymore. It's Triple H's fault. He took too long. He took way too long to pull the trigger on her. He should have pulled the trigger on her when she was in the LWO. He should have pulled the trigger on her when she was at the peak of her popularity when she battled Rhea Ripley for the SmackDown Women's title in Puerto Rico. I'm not trying to say Zelina should have beaten Rhea, but that should have been the pedestal. That should have been the point where they go all the way with Vega. That should have been when they could have gone all the way with her and made her a champion. But no, instead, they wanted to waste her away in pointless feuds and just barely ever use her. And then once her popularity was no longer, all that important, they introduced mid-card titles. And yes, that was the perfect time to make Zelina Vega a champion, but of course, she wasn't as popular anymore. She was popular in the LWO, and now that she's not with them anymore, and then they give her this shitty music, they give her this really awful music, now the fans don't care. Now the fans no longer care, because why should they care? They no longer care. Yes, it's great that Vega dethroned Chelsea Green, who is one of the worst wrestlers I've seen in modern time. I just can't stand Chelsea Green. But I can't help but to feel bad for Vega. I can't help but to feel bad for her. Like, they finally pulled the trigger on her, but they pulled the trigger on her when it doesn't matter anymore. Like, she's not as popular anymore. And again, they gave her crappy music. They gave her really crappy music. And now people are a little upset that she did the Sasha Banks hip dance. You know the little hip dance that Sasha Banks used to always do? Oh, sorry, Mercedes. You know the hip dance that Mercedes always does? Yeah, like Zelina did that on SmackDown, and people got triggered. Triggered over her doing that, over her doing a little dance. That was very similar to what Mercedes did. Like, come on, people, can you guys grow the hell up? How old are you people? 2? God, 2 years old. This community is a bunch of 2-year-olds getting upset over someone doing a little dance. Please, grow up. But yeah, I'm glad to see Vega as a champion. But now it feels like Triple H did it at the worst time. Gave her a shitty music and the crowd just don't care about her anymore. I feel so bad. And then when she loses the title, they're gonna claim, oh well, she wasn't connecting with the audience. She wasn't connecting with the audience. That's why we had her lose. Because when she was connecting with the audience, you weren't pushing her. When she did connect with the audience, you people weren't pushing her. But now that she's not getting a reaction, now it's fine to push her. It's almost like Triple H does the exact opposite. The people that are over don't get pushed, and the people that don't get a reaction are the ones that are the ones that should be pushed. Terrible. As I said, happy for Vega, glad she's a champion, but Jesus Christ. Worst time to make her champion when the fans just don't care about her anymore. Anyway, Aleister Black's return. Listen, I was at one point a big fan of Aleister Black, but I don't understand the whole concept of, Tony Khan fumbled him. I just don't understand the whole thing of Tony Khan fumbling him. Can someone please explain to me how he fumbled him? Did he fumble him because he wasn't AEW World Champion? Did he fumble him because he wasn't TNT Champion or whatever? Like, I don't see how he was fumbled in AEW. He's a former trio tag team champion with Buddy Matthews and Brody Lee. Not Brody Lee, what's his name? Brody King. R.I.P. Luke Harper. But I just don't get how that counts as a fumble. But, we live in a world where apparently a guy like Ricky Starks can be a former tag team champion with Big Cass, an Owen Hart tournament winner last year. I think he won last year's. And then he wins that title that was retired. That was the one that Hook always had. But somehow that's still a fumble. So I guess it's going to be the same thing with Mariah May if she ever joins WWE. Despite the fact that she was given a 170-plus day reign as women's champion and won the Owen Hart Cup, as soon as she turns up in WWE, everyone's going to chant Tony fumbled. Are you people going to chant Hunter fumbled if Alina Black turns up at AEW? Are you going to chant Hunter fumbled if Dakota Kai turns up in AEW? I am very confident you're not. You're not going to chant that. I am very confident you're not going to chant Hunter fumbled if anyone joined any promotion. I didn't hear any Hunter fumble chants for Indy Hartwell. Because because Triple H apparently doesn't fumble anybody, even though he clearly has fumbled so many people in the past. It's only a fumble if it's someone else that does it. Bringing him back to have a feud with The Miz is by far the biggest joke of them all. Yes, great, he beat The Miz. But now he's having a feud with Carmelo Hayes. I'm sorry, I just don't care for Carmelo Hayes. I just don't care for the guy. Never cared for him in NXT. But the fact that he has to be paired with The Miz just to get TV time is the biggest sin of them all, in my opinion. It's a big major sin. Oh man. What a day, man. So there you go. Those are my thoughts. And I guess one other thing I should mention real quick since I'm on the topic of SmackDown. Nice to see Nathan Fraser and Axiom on the main roster now. Nice to see them there on the main roster now. It's funny how the SmackDown Tag Team division get all the good teams and then Monday Night Raw have all the shitty ones. And then somehow the Raw Tag Team division gets on WrestleMania instead of the friggin' SmackDown ones, because the SmackDown Tag Team division is far better than Raw's. And of course, then you have Tiffany Stratton and Jade Cargill beating Naomi and Nia Jax. I was very surprised Nia Jax got pinned, but I did like that Jade Cargill gave her a massive powerbomb off the top rope. At least seeing Nia Jax get pinned and putting someone over, I guess, is a good sign. Making Jade Cargill look like a beast is a good sign. But other than that, yeah, not really much else I could really say. Thank you all for watching, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this little all wrestling review. I know I don't really do a lot of them now because, I just am a little bit lazy, I'm not going to lie. I am a bit lazy. I don't have time to, watch everything every week. If things are interesting, I will talk about them. But yeah, as I said, all wrestling review is just something, if there are interesting things, I will talk about it. But if not, then, I won't do anything. I won't do a review. But anyway, thank you all for watching, guys. See you all next time.